Trucker D back again. So just an update with me. I know in the last video I said I was taking a load from Texas to Georgia. Plans actually changed. I decided to stay out, get another run in. So they took that load off of me. They gave me a load coming out of Texas, somewhere outside of Amarillo, and I'm taking that up to Hazleton, Pennsylvania. So a total of 1,900 miles between loaded and empty miles, 1,900. So right now I'm currently in Virginia. I'm not too far from the state line. So I got about 300 miles or so to go. So after that, I'll probably go down to Florida and take my home time. But in this video, I'm gonna talk about, is Stevens Transport a good company? Now, I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube. I've heard a lot of negative shit, you know, even in the truck stops and even on the CB, people talk about Stevens saying, you know, are you making any money and all this and that. I'm gonna say, you know, everybody's experience is different. You know, some people are going to be successful at Stevens, some aren't. For me, you know, people told me, you know, you're not going to make no money as a company driver, you're not going to make money as an alliance driver, and I don't really agree on that. You know, I'm gonna say no company is perfect. I'm not going to sit here and say Stevens is the best company in the world, but they're also not the worst. You know, there's no such thing as a perfect company, because every company is going to have its flaws. You know, people say Stevens, you know, they're going to lie to you. I mean, every company lies. I can't name a single company that's honest, you know. Even before I did trucking, you know, jobs and companies I worked at, you know, people lie. That's just how this world is. People lie. Now, as far as, you know, people saying you're not going to get any miles, that's not true. Since I've been at Stevens, you know, and let me throw this out there. I may be new to YouTube, but this ain't my first day at Stevens. I've been here for a minute now. So I've seen, you know, what you can make at this company, you know. And going back to miles, people say, oh, you're not going to get any miles at Stevens. You're going to get like 500-mile loads and this and that. And I mean, since I've been here, I don't really sit. You know, I'm constantly moving. You know, I'm getting loads, I'm getting miles. So my checks were decent, you know. And like I said, everybody's money situation is different. So company, you know, there were weeks I might bring $800, I might bring $900. For some people, that's not enough for them, but that's enough for me, you know. Because everybody out here has, you know, different bills and whatnot, different, you know, expenses. People told me, you know, the only way you'll make money Alliance is if you're a trainer. That's not true. Since I've been Alliance, you know, I've been getting good miles. Like this week, when this week ends, I'll be close to like 3,400 miles for the week, you know. Now, I don't really believe in sharing, you know, how much I make. That's kind of not y'all business, not to be rude, but just for the sake of the video, I just made, you know, nearly $2,000 take home. For some people, that may not be enough. That may not satisfy them. That may not satisfy their family. But I mean, that's enough for me, because at the end of the day, with that, I can still pay my bills, pay my insurance, and make sure my kids are good, you know. And a lot of times, you know, as I said before, people will fail and this and that, and then they want to bash the company, but they don't mention why they weren't successful. At Stevens, there's well over 3,000 drivers, so you can't sit there and say that all 3,000 plus drivers aren't making no money. That's not true. Maybe you're not making money. Maybe you're not getting miles, you know. Maybe you're sitting a lot, but for the next driver, that may not be their experience, you know. Because if that's the case, Stevens wouldn't have any drivers. Now, somebody said they only hire new drivers. That's not true. But I mean, do they target new drivers? Yeah. But I mean, like I said, this is a starter company, so you got to get your experience from somewhere, you know. People sit here and bitch, like, you know, that's what I can't stand, when a whole bunch of grown men are just bitching, you know. I just can't stand that. I can't be around that, you know. We're grown ass, we're all adults out here. But people want to act like fucking kids and shit, bitching. You know, if you don't like the company, leave. I mean, if you have a CDL, you know, assuming you have a CDL, you don't have to stay with a particular company unless, you know, you're in a contract agreeing that you have to work for X amount of time. But other than that, you can bounce, you know. You don't have to stay here. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm gonna stay at Stevens for years and years and years. I'm not, because like I said, I have all my endorsements, meaning, you know, I have a plan. And being here for 20 years, you know, it's not in that plan. But, you know, in the meantime, I've been satisfied, you know. Now, as far as some of the flaws in Stevens, yes, some of them do lie. But I mean, like I said before, everybody lies. You're gonna go, whether you go to Prime, I'm sure there's somebody that's gonna lie to you. If you go to Swift, there's gonna be somebody to lie to you. Or even if you go work for an owner-operator, I'm sure they're gonna lie to you too. Now, a lot of times people focus so much on CPM, CPM, CPM. I don't care about CPM necessarily. I want to know about the miles. Now, let's just say you go to Prime, for example. I believe they start you off at 45 cents. And as you know, at Stevens, it's 36 cents. So let's say at Stevens, you know, you run 3,000 miles at a 36-cent rate. That's going to be $1,080. Now, let's say you're at Prime, which is 45 cents a mile. If I'm wrong on the 45, you know, let me know. But let's say you run 2,000 miles at 45 cents. That's only $900. So that 36-cent driver just made more than a 45 cents. So my point is, make sure if you're focused on the CPM that the miles will reflect that CPM. Because you could be somewhere where it's lower, but you might run more miles. So there's a guy on YouTube. He was at Stevens, I believe he said, for like 7 years on and off. I believe he's at Prime, and pretty much all his videos, that's all he talks about is Stevens, Stevens, Stevens. You know, I commented on one of his videos, you know. I'm not saying he puts out bad content, because I mean, he does have some good videos out there. But I asked him, I'm like, if you're at Prime, why are you still stuck on another company? Like, move on. You're not at Stevens anymore, so why are all your videos focused on Stevens? So I guess he's at Prime now. I guess he's liking Prime. I'm not saying Prime isn't a good company, because I looked into Prime, but unfortunately, because of where I live, I can't get hired on by them. So, and I'm curious, like he said he was here for 7 years. I wonder why he stayed. Like, if you have a CDL, and with all that experience, why did you stay at Stevens? You know, you could have went anywhere. With 7 years, hey, any company could take you. So, I mean, they couldn't have been that bad if you stuck around for that many years. So basically now all he does is, you know, talk about come to Prime, come to Prime, come to Prime, come to Prime. And he basically is just comparing the two companies. Now, that's fine and all, but like I said, every company is different, you know. I'm not saying, you know, Stevens is the best company in the world. They're not. They're not. But I guarantee you, if you go to Martin, if you go to Swift, Trans Am, if you go to US Express, USA Truck, you're gonna have problems there too, because every company has flaws, you know. And I'm happy to say, you know, I don't need a trainee to make money. I don't, you know, because I'm satisfied with what I'm making, you know. Now, will I say, I'm not gonna say I don't want more money, but, you know, I know what to do, you know. I know what I need to do, you know. If I want to bring 2,500 net, I know what I need to do, you know. And going back to the lease, a lot of people fail at leasing is because they don't know how to manage money. They don't. If you don't know how to manage money, if you're not one of them drivers that knows how to run, then you don't need to go Alliance, you know. Because when you're Alliance, it all basically boils down to your fuel expenses. Because let's be honest, your truck payment is going to stay the same. That's not going to change. Your fixed expenses, like, you know, you're paying for the Qualcomm, the APU, the insurance, all this other bullshit that they tack on, that's not going to change. The only thing that's going to determine your pay is your fuel. That's what it all boils down to, is your fuel. So if you're, you know, idling your truck and doing all this unnecessary shit, you know, you're going to pay more in fuel. If you're maxing your truck out, you know, like my truck, I can go up to 65. But just because I can go 65, that doesn't mean I'm going to run it at 65, because I know I'm going to burn more fuel. So I might run my truck, you know, at 62. I might run it at 63. And, you know, of course, people talk shit on the CB saying, oh, I'm going too slow. But the thing with that is, you know, I see a lot of these guys, you know, they fly past me doing 70, 75. But if I'm going to a pilot, for instance, 99% of the time, I get there at the same time they do. They might get there a few minutes, but boo-hoo, a few minutes, whatever. So the faster you go, the more fuel you're burning. So I'm fine with, going 62 because the less I'm paying on fuel, that's more money in my pocket at the end of the week. So before you come out here bashing company, make sure you do your research. Like Erod said in one of his videos, they tell you all these things up front. They tell you what the starting pay is. They tell you what the training pay is. They tell you all these things, When you go Alliance, they tell you what your truck payment is going to be. You know what your insurance is. You know what all your bills are going to be. So knowing all of that, you know how much you have to run each week, to break even. And then after that, it's all profit. Like I said before, I'm not defending. I'm just being honest. If you failed at Stevens or any company, make sure you explain why you failed. Because it's not the company, it's you. It's you. Because they wouldn't still be in business if everybody was unsuccessful. So somebody is successful. Maybe it's not you, but that doesn't mean the next driver is. So don't go telling other drivers, that you're not going to make any money, that you're not going to get miles, because that may not be their situation. There's another YouTube, I think his name is King D Raj. He was successful at Stevens. Another YouTuber, Skimp D, she was here. She was successful. Me, I'm doing my thing out here. I'm not gonna sit here and say that that I won't go through some bullshit down the road, because I probably will, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. So as I always tell you guys, y'all take it easy out there, stay safe.